What's he doing? I just got to get this ready for him, huh? I got to get this ready for him. Because I was in a pretty bad mood when we found it. So explain me the process.
Found me a cheap yard.
Ya saben, ya saben. Ya la saben, ya bien, amor. Poquito, poquito. Sí, yo pienso es un poco mejor. Hasta mejor. Hoy la baño, pero es la sarna.
Our week began with our patient rounds, making our way down the street checking on all the dogs we are currently treating.
Do you not eat sausage? Do I have to go buy tuna? Well, you don't eat the sausage. You're not a sausage dog, huh? I like to buy tuna, okay? Come on, look. You don't want the sausage? If I was as brave as the other lady, I would jam it down your throat. But, sure you don't want it? That one can get some miles and take them all with you. Now he's had his life picture.
No quiere estar quieto en ningún lado, no quiere.
Este es más mejor, pero
Es que él se arrastra.
y no sé qué posible él tiene un ataque con un otro perro.
Sí.
Porque este es nuevo. Pero es más mejor. Y es más seco ahora, sí.
¿Ya? Sí. Sí, todo bien.
Quieres un poco de esto. Yeah, I'm going to basically try without the bandage. Yeah, I'm going to try without the bandage for a couple of days since it's much drier and looks a lot cleaner. And I'll come back and do some more ointment, and she's going to give him his medicine tomorrow, and hopefully.
Hola.
I think he's to be impedido. Oh yes, he's got a little sore here too. I think another dog's attacked him, or he's gotten a little bit of a fight. Not bad. He's just got a little sore on his nose and a little sore there, but all in all, he's definitely improving.
Okay.
Yeah. You good boy, can you? Boy. He's been so brave with us, hasn't he, huh? And nothing too bad happened today, so maybe you'll like me more next time because I can bring the tuna. Alright, we got the family taxi to take the wood in. And Will's going to start the daggerboard.
Yeah.
Well, we made it with the wood. At first we were like, surely we won't all fit in this tuk-tuk with a bunch of plywood, but we did. It's the first day without Mum and Dad on board, but it's the start of a new week. Will and Lena are starting the daggerboard, so they're going to be making a new daggerboard for Chuffed because I'm missing one back here. And the daggerboard's purpose, we've got the keel that lowers down, and then the daggerboard's in front of the rudder and behind the prop. And it helps reduce the kind of the prop wash on the rudder, helps us point into the wind, just adds a bit more stability, and it can come up and down like the keel can. So be a very good addition that was lost many, many years ago before I owned Chuff, so she's never had one. So yeah, that'll be nice. Jim's mainly focusing on pitting in the tanks and on the hull. I'm going to be focusing on trying to get the deck completely sanded or stripped in areas, as well as then doing some pitting and hull work in between. Lena's helping Will with the project, also doing pitting. Basically everybody has a small hand in pitting every day. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for the week basically. So explain me the process.
Yeah, we got the plywood, then we roll with epoxy.
Yep.
Fill those holes with micro balloons and aerosol. Then lay up a layer of fiberglass. Roll that one with epoxy as well, and then add another layer of plywood.
So they basically get glued together slowly, yeah.
Yeah, and the fiberglass reinforcement in between.
And we've got each piece of plywood's 15 millimeters, and there'll be 4 in total, and then you shape it down. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's slightly too big, and then we just cut it and shape it, and then fiberglass over it again.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited to see the process.
Stacked peanut butter epoxy.
Yeah, I know. It kind of looks delicious, doesn't it? Those micro balloons. Like chocolate peanut butter.
And the wood.
Yeah. So you basically just kind of pour it and putty it into the holes.
Same epoxy base as micro balloons and aerosol,
Yeah.
coppercell.
And you just put the one layer of fiberglass between each each piece.
Yeah, just have to have a little bit of a reinforcement layer.
Will is using a locally sourced 4:1 slow cure epoxy. With the heat here, you almost can't work with anything fast curing. Each piece of ply is glued together with a layer of epoxy, a layer of fiberglass, and a further layer of epoxy. This will be the base frame for the daggerboard. You'll see more of its progress in its own special episode.
Water canisters.
And so you'll do all 4 layers basically now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, cool.
Well, keep on, guys.
See you, Andreas. So which bit are you attacking this morning?
Right over there on the other side of the stand.
Yeah, where it's a little bit
Yeah, it's this last little section. So start there.
and then
And
this
then just a
side's
few little spots
pretty much
here.
done.
This spot is done except for the directly overhead.
Yeah, and those it's probably going to have a plate welded on at that spot. So
Yeah.
how many hours do you reckon we will have spent in total doing the hull pitting? It's going to be like between everybody,
Basically,
like
all I've been doing
over 100
for
hours
3
easily,
weeks.
right?
Yeah, so
Between you and Lena, sometimes doing like 6 hours each a day, sometimes maybe more. Yeah, we're going
it's
to,
basically been a job that's been happening constantly
yeah,
since
we're going to put
started,
hundreds
so-
of hours into burring out aluminium pitting. Yeah,
well,
and we'll be
way to do
taking
it.
in our trace element aluminium.
it's good for you.
So something else that was actually discovered a few days ago, but I just haven't put it on camera yet because I was in a pretty bad mood when we found it. Will did kind of a bit of a run through on the bottom of the boat just to make sure there was definitely no other like areas of pin pitting, which sometimes has gone all the way through. And he saw these 2 kind of white spots on the bottom of the hull that didn't look like just areas that hadn't been sanded properly. And he started picking at it and he's like, oh, that kind of seems like epoxy. Turns out I assumed the battery compartments were epoxied, you know, to protect the hull if the batteries leaked, you know, protect the batteries more if water came in, this kind of thing. Turns out they're epoxied because there was giant holes in them and we just assumed that was an area we didn't have to pull anything up on. And there are about, I think, 9 holes in total in that compartment, and the aluminium's really bad, so we're gonna have to get more welding done, more plates welded. Unfortunately, the last repair job with that epoxy, 1, the epoxy like chipped out extremely easily, which isn't a good sign, and 2, they obviously didn't prep the aluminium properly. So if you only, that's why we're taking so much effort to prep this, because basically if we paint over it or epoxy over it and we've not actually prepped that surface so that there is no aluminium oxide, you're basically just trapping the cancer inside under the epoxy, and then it just keeps tracking and tracking and tracking and getting worse and worse, which is what has happened in all the areas that have been fixed by epoxy on this boat. So we're fixing them with the proper welding now. But it does add a lot more cost, a lot more time. The welders are coming out today to take a look at the new spots and give me any quotes. Yeah. I have to get Jim a new face mask ready, so I'm going to make it real cute for him. And then we'll know which one's his. I made a symbol on it so you'd know which one was yours.
Seems like a good mask.
Yeah, I think so. They're new ones.
To the guys talk about how shitty the Eagles are. So I can just rage against Howie Roseman and his inability to add speed to the offense.
Of course. Enjoy. You can see we purchased a very expensive weight system to ensure an even distribution along the along the ply. That's going to work well though. There's pretty much a perfect amount of stuff. So we set it for 24 hours at least.
Yeah.
And then you...
Slow curing epoxy.
Yep.
And yeah, it needs at least 24 hours to fully cure. And
Okay.
more like 48 hours until we can start taping.
Okay, cool. Some of the other current projects is Lena is fixing my stairs, while Will is doing some boat yoga here, taking apart the what do you call that? Throttle, which is very, very sticky. All right. So this was my throttle, which, as you can see, is no longer a working throttle. Metal's just pretty much ruined and corroded. And so is this part of it still on there?
Yep.
So just, yeah, it's corroded on basically. No wonder I couldn't turn it most of the time. Do you think we're going to be able to just replace this bit, or do you think it's like a unit?
Well, some luck we should be able to find just the lever.
Uh-huh, cool.
And I'm just gonna take the renovator, make a cut here, like down to the shaft, on the side as well, and then I just take a screwdriver and then
tap it out.
Yeah.
Cool. Now I guess we can just clean up the rest and see whether or not it's salvageable.
Yeah, and use some sealant on it afterwards.
Babe, look what Will did.
There we go, it's free.
Yeah. What's he doing? I just got to get this ready for him, huh? I got to get this ready for him. What's this? I know it's a sausage, but you can't eat it just yet. You have to wait a second. Good boy. Hey, how's he doing, Nicholas? Yes, I know. Wait 1 sec. You hungry, huh? You hungry boy. Hold on, hold on, hold on. And that? This one? One more. Good boy. That's all your ivermectin. You beating it all. You beating all the ivermectin, huh? How's he feeling? How's this eye? Tough? That looks way better, doesn't it, huh? And here's looking better. Everything's looking better. Everything's looking better, my boy. Huh? Look how big you are. I know, you're a big dog now. You're a big dog now. You wasn't a big dog before. You was a little tiny skinny dog. And now you're the biggest boy. Huh? Now you're the biggest boy. Yeah, you're the biggest boy. Okay, I gotta get back to work. Yeah, I have to get back to work.
Oh, I have to go back. I have to go back. I have to go back. Yeah, I do. I gotta go back to work. I have to at some point go back to work. Even though I just would stay here all day with you.
I'm heading off to the office now to see Rolf, who is one of the managers here at the Marina, about ordering some acrylic. I've almost got the whole process done, but he's been helping me communicate with the company because, yeah, my Spanish is getting a lot better, but talking on the phone and trying to organize like flateras, like the postage and everything, just my brain gets too exploded from it all. So he will do it for me, which is very, very nice. Both Memo and Rolf, who Memo's kind of the boss man here, and then Rolf helps manage everything. They're both extremely, extremely helpful with situations like this. They make phone calls for me and track people down, and yeah, it's really, really good having them. And all the boys at work here too have been really good. So I think as far as places to get stuck with a lot of boat problems, I've gotten lucky here. I just finished talking to Rolf and it looks like the welder's already here. I will go and show them all the new holes. Well, today was a pretty typical day. We were very productive but doing many, many different jobs. Jim and I focused on pitting. Will and Lena got the epoxy projects going with the stairs and things. They did the daggerboard. Will pulled apart that throttle. And then I went and talked to Rolf, and then the welders came. So the welders, this time the guy was like, why don't we just cut out this entire section of your boat and replace it? And I was like, yeah, well, that would be nice. But yeah, basically what we're going to do is weld some plates over the battery compartment area, and that's going to seal it. And then we're also going to look at putting another new epoxy layer in over clean aluminium, so that this is a problem that doesn't happen again. For the future owners of Chuffed, which will be me for a long time, but you know, we want to make sure that it's sound for a long time, not just for now. Yeah, so I'll get the next quote off of them tonight, and provided I say yes, which I'm going to have to, they'll come out tomorrow and do that. So yeah, another busy day in the boatyard. Well, the welders are coming back today to fix some of Chuff's holes. So Will is currently downstairs labeling cables and disconnecting batteries. Well, the boys are here doing the welding, and I thought I would explain why we're not cutting out a section of Chuffed and just replacing her. Like obviously with the tanks, that would be the easiest option. And the welders here even suggested it. But the risk with that, if any of you follow Nico and watch what Ports, you know, anywhere you weld, there is a risk of it cracking. And so if we replace like, you know, a 2 by 2 meter area of Chuff's hull where we've completely cut it away and then welded a new plate there, if that cracks, especially under the engine where we can't get to it, that's going to be a huge problem. Whereas if one of these welds cracks, although water will enter Chuffed, it's going to be through tiny little holes. And although I don't think they will crack, I think these guys are doing a really awesome job. It is a risk, so we've chosen to go with the more work but less risk option of increasing Chuff's hull thickness by basically putting a double, it's essentially like she has her normal hull and then another plate over the top, with the idea that it then gives us many months to see whether these welds are holding perfectly. And for the most part, if they're good in, you know, 6 to 12 months, they're probably going to be good essentially forever. But, you know, at least if we do get a crack when we go put in the water and the temperature changes, things like that, we can deal with it a lot better. But not that I anticipate that happening. Yo no realizar, necesitas muy estable. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys what they've done. So we've got new plates over a lot of the holes on the outside, and basically these two plates here cover the entire battery and engine compartment. And then above, which I'll show you in a second, we've got then welding going this way from the inside. So basically they're double plated now. And then there's a few other spots where we had those little holes that they've done as well. And this is the weld from the inside where they've plated the whole battery compartment. Yeah, so it looks good, and we're going to do an epoxy layer as well just to protect it if ever there's a battery acid leak. We're enjoying some chocolate. Yeah, so we got the wiring pretty much all back in today. Welders did 8 plates. Yeah, 8 plates in total, plus a few spot welds. Lena kept going on the pitting, so all in all it's been a very productive day. And you guys went shopping, and Jim went and paid for our acrylic at the bank in Tapachula, so we did a lot today, really. Like, for a day that kind of wasn't a normal boat day, we did a lot. And there's kind of a pretty sunset too.
Thanks for watching. As you can see, we're keeping very busy and never bored. You can help us treat all of these little critters by becoming a patron or simply subscribing and liking our videos. Until next time, stay chuffed everybody.